is Robbie Parker, and I'm going to be joined by Big D from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, and we're going to be doing a review of the 1998 Disney Pixar movie, A Bug's Life. So, this movie follows an ant named Flick who hires a troop of warrior bugs to defend his bustling colony from a horde of freeloading grasshoppers led by the evil Hopper. And it turns out that the warriors that he had signed up turn out to be circus bugs, and he's trying to figure out how to balance his lie and everything with the colony and stuff, and come up with a plan to stop the grasshoppers and everything. It's really good movie, but I'll get into my part of this review in a minute. I'm gonna let Big D go first, so take it away, Big D.
Hey everyone, this is the Big D here, and I'm going to be collabing with my friend Robbie as we tackle Disney and Pixar's second film, A Bug's Life, from 1998. Now, the film's plot was initially inspired by Aesop's fable, The Ant and the Grasshopper. It is about a misfit ant who looks for tough warriors to save his ant colony from a protection racket run by a gang of grasshoppers. However, what he brings back may not be warriors, but actually a troop of circus bugs, and eventually it turns into one fun-filled film. While I've seen this a few times, and I've got to say, A Bug's Life is definitely probably one of the more underrated Pixar films in my book, but I feel like it's really good with its story, its characters, and its score done by Randy Newman. The voice acting cast is really good, as we have Dave Foley voicing the main character, Flick. We also have the voices of Kevin Spacey, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Hayden Panettiere, Phyllis Diller, and a whole bunch of others. With the other characters in the film, Hopper, who is the main antagonist of the film, the leader of the Grasshopper gang, eventually is really good. And I gotta say, this proved to be a good set of bags for bugs. Other characters we have in the film include Queen and Dot. Let's see, there's also others. I think the circus bugs that Flick finds proved to be really fun. Now, the circus bugs consist of Slim, Heimlich, Francis, Manny, Gypsy, and there's several others, but I gotta say, they are all cool. Now, just like what he did with Toy Story, Randy Newman does the film's score, and I have to admit, he does an exceptionally good job in this. Of course, he did perform a big song for this in the form of Time of Your Life. While I will say that A Bug's Life is definitely a very fun film, I will say it did have a little bit of a better success at the box office than the other buggy animated which we got a month prior before this in DreamWorks' breakout hit Ants. So overall, A Bug's Life is very fun. It's got great atmosphere, it's got great characters, a great score from Randy Newman, and John Lasseter does a good job with his direction in the film. I think this was really a fun experience. So as always, thank you for making me a part of this, Robbie, and until our next collab, this is the Big D saying, see ya.
Thank you, Big D. It's great to have you on here. As always, I always enjoy having you on here and everything. And I'm gonna say, every single time I've watched this movie in recent years, which has really just been a couple times, I forget how fun this movie is. Like this is a really fun Pixar movie, and it's one that I've always really loved, though. And I'm starting to really feel the nostalgia and stuff when I watch it, because it was one I used to watch all the time as a kid and everything. Yeah, just like with Toy Story, I was obsessed with Bugs Life and everything. I'm a big fan of Pixar and stuff, especially their early work and everything like that. That first 15 years of movies were just perfect and everything. And they've had so many great classics since then too, though. We've got some modern classics like Soul and a bunch of other great ones, but this movie is just a really fun time and everything. But it's got a really great story from beginning to end. It's inspired by the Ant and the Grasshopper story, like Big D said, and it's just really well done and everything. It's a really good take on that story and everything. I love the characters in this movie too. They have all that Pixar charm to them and everything. Flick is one of the most underrated Pixar heroes and stuff. Like, he's a really good character and everything, and like, he goes from this shy and meek character to really finally standing up for the colony and really coming into his own as a hero and everything. His little journey is really good in this movie and everything. Princess Ada is really likable too and everything. She's really funny at times and stuff, but she's voiced by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, so of course she's gonna be funny and everything. She can be hilarious at times, and she's great as Princess Ada. Hayden Panettiere's Princess Dot is great too and everything, and Dot is another one of my favorite characters. She's just adorable, and she's a really lovable character, and she's funny and stuff too. I love, like, probably my favorite part in the whole movie is when Flick is trying to tell her to pretend that the rock is a seed, and she's like, but it's a rock, and he's like, I know it's a rock. You don't think I know a rock when I see a rock? I spend a lot of time around rocks. I don't know why, but that scene just cracks me up so much when he says that. It always has just something really, really humorous about it and everything, and I just really love the humor in this movie. Like, it's really funny and stuff. Like, the movie is rated G and stuff, but it has me cracking up a lot. There are so many funny jokes and stuff. One of my other favorite ones is when that shows a trailer park that's actually in Monsters Inc. is an Easter egg. And he's like, don't look into the light, and it's like, I can't help it, it's so beautiful. And then he gets zapped and he goes, whoa! I don't know why, but that part cracked me up. The flaming death scene in the circus is hilarious too, and I love the circus bugs as well. My favorite one has always been Heimlich and everything, and I think that's one of the reasons we probably won't ever get a sequel to Bug's Life, is because he's one of the popular characters from this movie, and his voice actor tragically had died many years ago and everything, so rest in peace to him. He was awesome as that character and everything, and Heimlich he's an awesome character. I also like Dim, voiced by Brad Garrett, and the Black Widow, I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but I like her too. Francis and Slim, or Stim, or whatever you want to call them, I can't remember which one it is, but they're both really likable, funny characters too, and there's just a lot of good banter between all of the circus bugs and stuff. I also like Manny and Gypsy too. They're pretty good characters too, but one of the standout characters aside from Flick in this movie is the villain, and that's what I love about this movie, is the hero and villain dynamic in this movie. Flick finally coming into his own and standing up to Hopper after being scared of him through the whole movie, because Hopper is this gigantic mean character and everything, and he's voiced by Kevin Spacey, who is a pretty terrible person in real life and everything, but he is good at playing villains and stuff, and he was very good as the voice of Hopper. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, and I can't deny that the man is a good actor and everything, but that's probably the only good thing about him and everything. But I can't say that I can't just sit here and lie and say that he didn't have great performances, and he had one of the most memorable villains in all of Pixar history and everything. Hopper is like one of my favorite ones, if not my favorite villain from a Pixar movie, to be honest with you. The voice cast, like I said, they're all great. Everybody fit their roles really, really well, and I also love that, like, all of the characters get their little moments to shine throughout the movie and everything, and they all, some of them have their own little story arcs. Princess Ada being scared about becoming queen and having to learn to be the leader that she needs to be, and everything, but it's not it doesn't hit you in the head over the head with its messaging on that and stuff. And also Princess Dot and everything is also has her own little thing about not being able to do too much, and she finally learns how to fly and stuff, something that she gets made fun of for at the beginning of the movie for not knowing how to fly and stuff. So like she gets her own little character moment, and everybody gets their own little moments and stuff, and I love it and everything. Also the Queen, voiced by Phyllis Diller, she was great too. She's pretty funny and stuff. I love the part at the end of it where she's with the one guy and she's like, "You can rub lotion on me later," and everything. He's like, "Hubba hubba." It's like they never put jokes like that in a Pixar movie nowadays and everything. Just I love the humor in this movie. There's just so much really funny moments in here, and I always forget how funny this movie really is. And the animation holds up way better than I was worried it was going to. And everything. I realized that a few years ago when I watched it and everything, and I definitely say it still holds up really good, although I think that if they were to re-release it and stuff, it would probably look even better, because there are little parts where I wouldn't say the animation has aged badly, but you can just tell it's older animation and everything. But I wouldn't say this movie has actually aged very poorly as far as the animation goes. I think it holds the animation is even better than it was in Toy Story and everything. I think each time Pixar has made a movie, their animation had gotten better and stuff as they went on and everything, and they still do at times and everything like. But they finally have started making different character designs than what they used to, and I kind of wish it would go back to their older models and stuff. But I love like the looks of all the characters and everything. And also it's cool that John Ratzenberger was in this as P.T. Fleet. He's in all of the Pixar movies and everything, and I love him as Ham in Toy Story, of course, but P.T. Fleet is one of my favorite characters he played and everything, along with the Abominable Snowman from Monsters, Inc. But there's so many funny moments throughout this movie. Randy Newman's score is absolutely fire, just like it is with Toy Story. He gave us a really great score for this movie. It sounds really, really good, and is really, really great and everything. He also did a song called "The Time of Your Life," which plays through the end credits, and it's pretty good too. I wouldn't say it's near as good as the stuff he did for Toy Story or even Monsters, Inc., but it's still a pretty good song and everything. The bloopers in this movie were absolutely hilarious. It was just chef's kiss and everything. I love the bloopers, especially the one where Hopper's like, "Do I look stupid to you?" And Princess Ada just starts dying laughing and says, "Yes!" Yeah, and that part just cracks me up so much, and everything. That was probably the best blooper, but there was a lot of really good ones in there and everything. So I really like that too. So I don't really have any negatives with Bug's Life. It's one that I've always just really loved, and as time has gone on, I just appreciate it even more. Part of it is the nostalgia, but it is just a really good movie, and it is a funny time. I wouldn't say it's one of Pixar's strongest movies, like as far as the emotional gut punch and stuff, but it's still really good and everything, and it works really, really well, and it's a very good movie. So I say it is definitely a 9 out of 10. Really, really great movie and everything, and I wouldn't say it's one of Pixar's very best, but it's definitely not one of their worst either by any means. And it's one that I have a big love for, just because it was a huge part of my childhood too and everything. But I also am happy that it holds up so well, and I still find it to be as fun and funny as I always have. So anyway, thank you again, Big D, for joining me. It was great to have you on here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.